Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody. It's lit. Dog Life. Wait a minute. Hold on for a minute. What is going on? I ended up doing a video. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to, you know, the Elon Musk parody Twitter. You know what I mean? Look, so I put out a post, right? And it's like a post of me, like, you know, I'm kind of like cracking jokes, you know, of what the left have been saying. You know, it is what it is. And the video just went crazy. What is this? Yo, I posted that on my TikTok. I got like 13,000 followers in like a day. It's over. Shout out to Respect VA. 13,000 followers in a day is crazy, bruh. Then I look, the video, it's got like 1.5 million views on it. I'm like, this is insane, bruh. You know what I'm saying? And then I seen like on Twitter, it had like 500,000. And on Instagram, it's a video with like mad views. That's crazy. Shout out to everybody. You know what I mean? Y'all, the people on the internet, y'all are quick. I'm like, how'd they find me? Yo, before I went live in here, Thug Life, shout out to everybody. Somebody said this is exactly how you sound too. Look, shout out Thug Life, Craig Wilson. Look, I went live on my TikTok. I'm like, yo, it got this many people. Wait a minute. I went live on my TikTok. Shout out to Respect VA with the donation. And I'm like, is they gonna come in here? Bruh, my TikTok was flooded. Like, my live was crazy. Wait a minute. I'm like, it's lit. I hit TikTok. I'm like, what y'all gonna do? Y'all need to go ahead and monetize that TikTok. They're like, the application is under review. If they monetize, I'll start posting more on there, bro. And then I posted like some other videos. It got traction. So I don't know, man. You know, it's crazy. Like a lot of like, when people like start talking about stuff like that, it is different, bro. Like, it's a lot of people invested in their opinions for different things. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody in politics. Shout out to Sugar Black. I see you in here. Craig Wilson, Dante Young, Respect VA. But we about to get into this. So Trump visits California areas devastated by recent wildfires. So this is a little bit older, but I didn't watch all of it. So I want to go ahead and like kind of watch this with y'all so we know exactly what's going on. Because it's one thing to hear things, you know what I mean? And then it's another thing for us to, you know, sit down and watch it. One thing I want to say, shout out to JD Vance, right? North Carolina, they've been going through it. You know, some people ended up losing their homes and, you know, a lot of them have been going through it, you know? So shout out to the Trump administration. They've been putting people up in apartments that are fully furnished, you know, and these are some people that were living in tents and stuff like that. So for them to do that for them, I think is great. You know what I mean? It's a great move. If one, it's great PR. And then it's just, you know, if you're an American citizen, you pay taxes and you want the government to step in if something happens. For them to do that, it's big. It's major. You know, when the left, all they did was like give $750 per household if you qualified for it. You know, and just putting people up in apartments and stuff is a major, major move. You know what I mean? So shout out to Trump and JD Vance for doing that. But let's watch some of this. Kevin with the $5 donation, he said, have you noticed how Charlemagne the God is changing his tone? He's sounding like a Republican and turning on the Democrats now. Thug Life, to me, I'm going to keep it real with you, Kevin. It sounds like Stephen A. Smith is one too. Stephen A. Smith came out and said that he regrets voting for Kamala Harris. Like, what? This is a stark check, and you know what it is. They know, like, when you look at MSNBC, the viewership, remember they were having problems with the viewership, and they were thinking about the rumors. I'm going to say they were rumors, right? Because I didn't see MSNBC directly say that they were selling off, right? But there are rumors that they were getting hit in terms of viewership. More people were, like, starting to watch Fox News and stuff like that. So people were thinking about, like, you know, they were thinking about selling. And Elon Musk was trolling at the thoughts of, you know, buying MSNBC and stuff like that. a lot of these pundits, or like, you know, a person like Stephen A. Smith, right? He talks about sports and all of that. A person like him, his base is going to be urban a lot of times. So he's going to try to cater to his base. But at the end of the day, I think he may not want, you know, he's got like a YouTube channel. He's got like all kind of stuff that he's doing. Algorithms matter, right? Not only do they matter, you know what I mean? The algorithm, it's like, yo, you want to be able to show people when you do deals that you can bring in a certain amount of traction. If you are sitting there pushing left-wing ideology, right? And even if it's far removed from where people are in America or how they think, right? Because you see, it was like, I wouldn't say necessarily a clean sweep. You had like, I think Trump won by like, what, like over, like close to like 2 million votes or something like that. So if that's the case, you're like, yo, I gotta think. You know what I mean? I don't want to like upset all of these people. I kind of want to, you know, play midline a little bit. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Even like Chink from TYT, you know, the Young Turks, right? Even Chink is like starting to seem midline. So it's very, very interesting what I see going on, what's taking place, because it's hard to argue against this guy, Trump. It seemed like it to me, Sugar Black. What you think? It's hard to argue against it. Like, even when they talk about the executive orders, right? That he passed, like, oh, the executive orders, like he's trying to do away with DEI. And they first of all, they said that and I'm saying this is not true, right? So they said, oh, he got rid of affirmative action. That's not what he did. You know what I'm saying? He did an executive order to get rid of an executive order. You know what I'm saying? That had like DEI stuff in place, like that was looked at when hiring people for the federal government. He wants a merit-based society. He doesn't want, you know what I mean, like somebody be sitting there unqualified that has a secure job, not doing what they're supposed to do. He wants somebody that's going to be in there that's going to be effective in government and do what they're supposed to do. So that's what it was about. You know, but yeah, hit the likes, Doug Life, hit the likes, stop playing with me. Wait a minute. Hit the likes. Your boy got a couple haters. I mean, I'm doing something right. Yeah, but that wasn't what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to make it a merit-based workforce. You know what I'm saying? Of what he's going to do with the federal government. I ain't really mad at that, bro. And this is dope, him showing support to the fire department. Y'all got to remember the fire department was defunded by the mayor. This is what was the talks of the town. Everybody doing like journalistic, you know what I mean, views on what's going on with the mayor. And she was in Ghana. She's going on all these trips. They didn't defunded the fire department. And Trump is showing like, yo, I appreciate the fire department. I'm stepping up. I'm meeting with the people from the fire department. You know what I'm saying? I think this is a big step before he gets to that meeting. Boss Level said from TikTok to YouTube, Piper Boy be working. Shout out to you, bruh. I like this.
Thank you very much,
Yeah, definitely double tap the screen if y'all can, because y'all know this is like right around lunchtime. People at work, you know what I'm saying? In some places, you know, shout out to y'all. Some people in church.
All right,
let's kind of go in here and see what's up. Amama Magazine said that was just one mayor, not all, and the areas hit hard. It's Newsom's fault, not hers. You know what I think, Amma? And this is me being real, and I've said this on a lot of different lives, right? Shout out to Houston with the welcome to the squad. Shout out to you. You are a member on the channel. Thug Life. Can he get a Thug Life? As far as the mayor, when you end up cutting like $100 million and you doing stuff like that, the governor has to know like what you're doing. I think personally, and this is not fact, right? I'm just saying what I think. I think that he may have had something to do with it. Like, yo, we got a budget issue. We got to start cutting. You know what I mean? And like, let me see what you're doing. And he probably like, yeah, it's cool. So for her, if she ends up going ahead and she does the budget cut for the fire department, getting rid of the brush, all of that, it's gonna fall on her. It's just politics. Heads are gonna roll, right? It's gonna fall on her, and she can't just be like, Governor Newsom told me this. There's a text message. She can't do that. She loses her position. She gotta play her position, and right now she's in a very unfortunate situation. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, man, but this is politics for you. Like, you can end up being a scapegoat. She probably thinking like, man, like, if I've been like encouraged to do this and then now nobody's taking the credit, I'm taking the fault. Like, what do I do? It's like, be quiet. This is going to last for maybe a couple months. You're still going to have your position. You're going to have at the end of the day, maybe a year from now, your notoriety. You're still going to have all your retirement plans, everything. Be quiet. It's just part of it. Right? So we don't know what is actually going on, like, when it comes to that. And then, hold on. Craig Wilson said, Thug Life, you tried, said scapegoat is necessary. The mayor is a scapegoat. Sugar Black said, become a member of the Piper Boy Williams channel. Shout out to y'all. She could very well be a scapegoat. Very well be one.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. This is an honor to be with you. Unfortunately, it's a very sad period, but what makes you feel good is I met so many of the homeowners, and every one of them, a lot of them, and every one of them said to me they want to rebuild. I said, will you go elsewhere? No, 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 no. It wasn't even like a question. They love the area. They love the people. It's like a family. It's incredible, actually, when you see some things like that. We just left North Carolina, and we had...
This is very important for him, right? Because he's setting the tone. Like, people want to stay in California. They believe that California is a beautiful place, this and that and the third. He wants to show them empathy. Because at the end of the day, they want to eventually turn California red. You don't want to just like, hey, y'all need to move. Like, he's like, yo, I came in here. I talked to the residents who lived here. I wanted to get like kind of a accurate depiction on what's going on. I'm asking people, are you going to leave? They're like, no, we want to rebuild. You know, he came in there right. And this is like right after like him going to North Carolina. Y'all think this dude is signing executive orders like crazy, goes to North Carolina. He's figuring out that situation, goes straight to California, figuring out this situation. Meanwhile, you know, it's a lot that he's doing. You know what I mean? And this was like within the first like 7 days of like his presidency. This is a lot. You know, Biden would be taking like a whole week to get ready to go. So like, this dude is just fast with everything. We got to get this country back in order.
Just a similar type of disaster. It was water instead of fire, but boy, that water did damage like I've never seen before. And then you come here and you see this. But the people are so amazing, and your fire department was so beautiful. Every one of them is in perfect physical shape. I said, what do you guys do? They have very high standards, I can tell you. And we took pictures with all of them, but very nicely they gave us a little helmet. And I said, you wear this, huh? Is this real? And they said, yeah. I said, it's awfully heavy. You have to be very strong to wear that. But that's the original, right? So it's pretty good. But I just want to thank everybody. We're going to be with you, your governor.
Bro, he's got his wife by his side. He's setting an example. This is an important issue. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my family's here, like everything. Like, we hitting the ground running. We trying to figure this out. I got my wife with me, bro.
Met us at the plane, and we had a good talk, very, very positive talk. We have to work together to get this.
Hey, Patricia, we talked about that. There's a lot of misinformation going on, like on TikTok and different places, right? And in Twitter, it's a lot of things. He didn't get rid of like affirmative action. He can't do that. There has to be like an act of Congress to do something like that. He did an executive order to get rid of an executive order with DEI. And that is not for the private sector. That is for federal government. And so basically he's turning it into merit based instead of them hiring you based off of who you horizontal poker with outside of the job. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't care about that. He wants you to actually be in office and know or have a position and know what you're doing versus just because of like who you like and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Or the color of your skin. Like, you got to be qualified. One of the big issues with government is there's a lot of people, you know what I mean, from all different walks of life that may not be qualified to be in their position. And this is why you have ineffective government. This is why FEMA is such a mess. You know what I'm saying? One of the issues with FEMA, different departments, Department of Education, the Department of what, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a big mess because people have these positions of to be able to do something, and a lot of people are not qualified. You know, like, we have to get people in positions, especially in the federal government, who are qualified for those positions. It doesn't mean like he's not going to hire a black person. He can't take away affirmative action. That's not what he means. He's like, it's not going to be the sole reason as to why he hires you. How many times, like, have we seen like a Shaniqua? You go to, like, people mad at Target right now, right? Are we not going to Target? We not about to buy nothing at Target because Target is doing away with DEI and blah, blah, and Target. Well, it was like, so it's what it is, right? So people are mad at Target. Have you ever been to Target and you go to customer service and you ask somebody in electronics a question and they got an attitude problem? It's a Shaniqua. Shaniqua got an attitude. Or it's another DEI, got an attitude. You like, why is there an attitude problem? You been trying to get back to their phone? Like, ma'am, I'm trying to get like a PlayStation for you. Can you wait? Can you wait? You see me talking to Tyrone on the phone? Can you wait? Shaniqua, like, can I, like, they getting an attitude with you? You like, I'm not about to deal with Shaniqua in electronics. I came to Target. This is why I don't go to Walmart, because I don't want to deal with this. You like, yo, I need to talk to a manager. The manager comes out more ghetto than Shaniqua. You like, manager, Shaniqua ain't acting right. Are you just telling on her now? You just telling on her? Manager, can you manage this? But you trying to tell me what to do? You can leave right now. You can leave right now. That's DEI. Are we mad at Target? Because Target, you know what I'm saying, they're getting rid of DEI. So they're going to spend more time focusing on customer service. You see what I'm saying? So, like, yo, it ain't just the Shaniquas. It's other people that be there just because of who they, you know, like outside of work and whatever. They might get the job over somebody that may be qualified, that may actually like customer service. How many times you went to Best Buy and you trying to, like, get somebody to help you and they don't want to help you and they got an attitude? I'm tired of that. Imagine, like, having to go and get your license plate renewed or going to get, like, your sticker on your license plate. And you get met with Shaquanda that got an attitude problem. Miss Shaquanda, can I please? I'm in a hurry. Can you please? She chewing her gum. She got, hold up. Do you want me to call security up in here? How do you want me to call security up in here? Shaquanda, help me. Can you read? Here's a pamphlet. Go read it. Shaquanda got a whole attitude problem because she got a job that she ain't qualified for. You know why some people like you know why some people like go to, like me, for instance, people get mad, whatever, thug life. I will go to I live in a nice neighborhood, but I will go to like a nicer neighborhood just so I don't have to deal with certain things when I go shopping. If I go to Best Buy, I'm going to the one that's going to help me. I might have a question, like, how do I do this? I want somebody to, I don't know. Don't you read? Can't you go on Google? Can't you figure it out? Can't you do this and can't you do that? On their phone. Girl, you going out tonight? I'm going out. Are you still here? Shaniqua! When he started hitting them executive orders for the DEI, I'm like, yes. lose your birth certificate and have to go get another one. And then you got to go down there and deal with some of the DEI. And then tell me that was a great experience. I'm just saying.
Really worked out. I don't think you can realize how rough it is, how devastating it is until you see it. I didn't realize. I mean, I saw a lot of bad things on television, but the extent of it, the size of it, we flew over it in a helicopter. We flew.
Bro, you be seeing it even on TikTok, bro. Like people, they be working at Amazon, like they. Some people ain't even qualified to work at Amazon. Like they don't know directions. They can't read the GPS. They complaining. And they got me in the truck with all of these gifts to give to people. Them ain't gifts, them is packages. They try to make me deliver all these gifts to people like I know the directions, like I know these areas, and like I know. And then they try to make me work 8 hours a day, and they trying to make me work. They be complaining about everything. It's like, oh, you mad that you get to drive around and deliver a gift? The people we delivering packages to need to have candy at their door. They need to have Fiji water because we don't want regular water because we busy. They need to have Fiji water at their door, and they need to have Slim Jims, Kit Kats, and some M&Ms. To help us. We deserve it. You like, man, you supposed to deliver packages. Then you be looking on your Ring doorbell. They just be throwing your package like on your porch. You see what I'm saying? I want somebody who gonna work there that wanna work there. That don't need a Fiji water. You mean to tell me you can't pack an Aquafina before you go to work? You want me to buy the product, pay for the shipping, or buy the product, pay for Amazon Prime, and buy you a Fiji water, Miss DEI? Get up out of here. Jeff Bezos ain't giving us enough money for Fiji water. We need y'all to pay for it.
To a few of the areas, and it is
shout out to Michael
devastation.
Smithers.
It's incredible. It's really an incineration. Even some of the chimneys came down. Okay, when you have the chimneys come down, you know that's pretty hot stuff, and a lot of them were down. That was a bad sign too. But
Patricia, I'm not acting like it's only black people. It ain't only black people that be doing that. It's other people. I've said it like multiple times. Other people that have recreational activities like with different partners or whatever they be doing. That should not make them have a job over somebody else. It shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? And you might get in a situation and you have to deal with them like in a customer service situation. You know what I mean? And then they get in an attitude with you and not a manager scared to correct them because they scared that they're going to use that as a reason to why they've been reprimanded. Oh, you bullying me because I'm this? You know what I mean? Y'all like that? There's like a war on men in America. Thug life. It is. It's a big one. So it's like we don't it's like what do y'all want? Why are we even going to school if that doesn't matter? If I'm about to I've been to Europe before, right? A lot of y'all probably flown to different states and other countries and all that, right? I'm saying it. A lot of people probably have, right? Because I got people who got a lot of money that be following me, right? The donations and stuff sometimes. So imagine you get on a flight, right? And Hector gets up and He up there. You know what I'm saying? And he don't speak. No, I'm just saying, like, what? Do you want somebody that know how to fly a plane? I'm not saying that he don't know how. You know what I'm saying? But do you want your pilot to really know what he doing? I mean, you up in the air. If something go wrong with that plane, I can't just get on the phone with dispatch like, dispatch, help me. I don't even know how to get on the phone with dispatch. Hector up there, he got the mandarin oranges. You like, Hector, you know how to fly this? He's like, don't speak of any, like, you about to fly me? You about to fly me? I don't speak. Who you want to fly in your plane? That's all I'm saying. If you got an issue and your knee need to be replaced, let Shaquanda walk up in there. We about to do this surgery on you real quick. Because I got to go to the club. Like Shaquanda, where you go to school at? You asking me all these questions. Why? Because I'm DEI. Why you asking? You wouldn't ask Kevin all these questions. You wouldn't ask like Muhammad. Why you asking me all these questions? Ma'am, because you about to cut me up. Like, you know what I'm saying? I need to know like what's going down. Oh, he got an attitude problem. He got an attitude. Like, you want her to be like, I mean, your knee getting replaced. You trust her? I'm just saying. I mean, a lot of people from different, like Chinese, like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of Indian doctors, very good. You know what I'm saying? Some black doctors, very good. I'm just saying, when a Shaniqua roll up in there, I'm probably gonna leave. Imagine like if you take a trip to Chicago, right? You just chilling, pop, 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 pop. They mess up and they think you like Lil Durk or something, right? And you in the hospital and they trying to fix you up. And somebody come in there, who is this? Oh, another one, talking to y'all crazy. Have you ever been to a hospital? I had to go to a hospital before. You know what I'm saying? Went to a hospital before. And I got, hey, nurses can be good, they can be bad. I had one of them Shaniquas. She was talking crazy about me at the nursing station. I'm like, why is she talking to me like that? I'm hitting the call like, why is she still talking about me? Who he think he is? Why is he up in here? Like, why did he just do that? I'm like, oh, I'm about to complain on her. They ain't do nothing to Shaniqua. Oh, it's a nursing shortage and it's a Shaniqua? Oh, no. Patient rights out the window. They can talk crazy about you. No, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Merit-based society is where we should be at. That's how I feel.
Just want to commiserate, and we're going to celebrate. We'll be back to celebrate one day soon, I hope soon. The federal government standing behind you, 100%. The First Lady and I are in California to express a great love for the people of California. I've had great support always in California. We did very well recently, as you know, relatively speaking, at least I can say. And it's been amazing. I have property in California, not too far.
And it always be like making me laugh when you be hanging out with people, right? And then they be like, let's go to the all black company and spend our money there. I'm like, yeah, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, we about to, you know what I'm saying? We about to do it all black, thug life, right? You go up in there, they overcharging you. The boxes be open. It's like, nah, bruh. You trying to get a haircut? They getting arrested mid-haircut. I will never forget I got a haircut in Nashville, Tennessee on Jefferson Street. The dude was midway through cutting my hair and he got arrested for not paying child support. I will never in my life forget that. I know they ain't no DI situation, but let you know how Leonard be. Leonard!
Far away, actually, right up the road in Palos Verdes, a big property. And I've always loved it. I've always loved being here. But we have to grieve for the 28 Californians who have tragically perished. And sadly, you're going to be finding more. And that's going to be very sad because I know people are missing. And when you look at that.
You said, did he finish the cut? No, the sheriff took him. I had to have the other dude. All right, another thing, right? What people don't want to talk about. People be like scheming. So like the other dude that finished my cut, like he ain't even really have like a cutting license. That's why I didn't want him like cutting my hair in the first place. But I was in a dire situation. I had to go to work. So I had to let him cut my hair. You know what I'm saying? All because Leonard don't want to pay his child support.
Kind of incineration.
That's the first thing black people got on. Shout out to black people. Thug life. Soon as they thought Trump posted something like, oh, who the fathers that paying child support gonna get the taxes. Everybody was like, oh, look what Trump said. Look what Trump said. Y'all was Trump's best friend until y'all found out that wasn't true. They're like, we're going to get that tax money now.
You know what's going to happen. You're going to find some more. But with all that we've gone through, I watched your firefighters, and they were really fighting at a big disadvantage. I got to know a lot of them just now, and they're incredible people. They were so happy.
Shout out to y'all hitting the hundreds in the confetti. I see y'all. Shout out to y'all.
They were saying, congratulations, sir. You know, they think.
Hey, we got like 15,000 views. That's pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? This is around like, you know, people's lunchtime and stuff like that. Shout out to y'all.
About country, maybe even before this location that they all love. But I'm pleased to be joined by many of the great California leaders, both Democrat and Republican. And it's an honor to meet some of you I didn't know, but I know every one of you by name.
Look, all these Democrats that was talking crazy about Donald Trump, all of them, right? They're sitting there needing his help. Oh, how the tables have turned. Look at that mayor. Look, now she needs his help.
County Supervisor, Catherine
What's up,
Barter.
Froggy
Thank you,
Meggsy?
Catherine, very much. Mayor Karen Bass. Thank you, Karen. It's nice to meet you. Representatives Jay Obernolte. Where's Jay? Jay, hi, Jay. It's been a tough period, Jay, right? Vince Fong, Kevin Kiley, Vince and Kevin, hi. Hi, Vince. A man I know very well. I know him too well, actually.
Hold on. Froggy Meggsy, we went viral yesterday, right? Look, 1.5 million views on TikTok. Look, we went viral. Like, yo, it's like 14,000 subscribers in 24 hours. It's fire.
And I say that actually with love because he's actually been a great congressman for a long time, and he's a great leader, and he loves the area as much as anybody, right, Daryl? So Daryl Issa, young Kim, congratulations on an excellent career. I appreciate it. Another one I know pretty well is, to put it mildly,
shout out Mafioso with the $5 donation. He said, salute Piperboy Williams. He said, America is back. We finally have a real leader back in the White House calling out these corrupt politicians to their faces. Thug life. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. I love that, bro. Trump ain't about to talk about you behind your back. Well, he will talk about you behind your back. He's going to talk about you to your face. That's one thing that we miss in America. People talking to your face.
Like Tom McClintock, and he's been with us for a long time. We have some interesting things going on in Washington, and it's an honor that you guys are here. Thank you, Daryl, very much, Tom. George Whitesides. Good George, thanks. That's a great name, too, by the way. Brad Sherman. Oh, I know Brad well. I know, Brett, but that's all right. We're on the same side of this one. I know that. We'll work together, Brett, very well. A lot of respect. And Presidential Envoy Rick Grinnell, who's done a fantastic job for me over the years. He was ambassador to Germany, and he was fantastic. So 2.5 weeks ago, over 100-mile-an-hour winds transformed the Palisades fire and other areas too into absolute infernos of death and destruction. And this is already the most expensive natural disaster, they say, in American history. That's
wow. See, that's something that a lot of people didn't know. This is the most expensive natural disaster in American history.
Pretty amazing. The numbers are going to be staggering. Most importantly, we have to get it built, and we have to hopefully find as few people as possible. We have already too many, 28 at least, they say. We're going to work very hard with the mayor, the governor, the supervisor, and everybody, and get the resources behind you. And we have some amazing people, and we have some amazing fighters for things like this. I also had the concept of getting some of the best developers in the country. I've had so many calls from developers, and they want to come in. They don't want anything. They just want to come in and help, and they really know how to get things done and get things built. I would ask that the local officials, because we're going to essentially waive all federal permits. We're going to have you go very quickly because the federal permit.
Wow. He said he's going to waive the federal permits. Why are people not putting this up everywhere? That is big. They said one of the biggest things that people are going to face is permits being in the way. And he said he's going to waive federal permits. Nice.
It can take 10 years. We're not going to do that. We don't want to take 10 days. I would.
Yeah, his hat is fire though. I like that. I've been looking for I got like a couple of them. I got this one. Y'all know the black one I'll be wearing. It's up there. And I got this one. I like the black one with the gold lettering. That's what I need. I need the one with the gold lettering.
So we're declaring this a national emergency. By doing that, I can give you immediate permits. I'd ask that the local permitting process be the same. Some of the people were saying they're going to be forced to wait 18 months for their permits, and I don't think you're going to do that. I can't imagine that. So
you see what I'm saying? And this is some of the things that he's been talking about, like previously, the bureaucracy in some places is ridiculous, and even federal bureaucracy at times can be ridiculous. But for him to waive the permits and declare this a national emergency is fire.
They are literally in a position.
No pun intended. My bad. I'll be saying that in battle rap fire. My bad. No pun intended.
Right now, they'd like to start tonight, and they'll clean their site. They'll do everything. They just want to start, and they were very concerned with the 18 months. So I'm sure you can get it down to, I would say, not even 18 days. They are ready, Mayor. They are ready to start. I met so many of them. The fire took place. It's nice and cool there now, and they want to start taking the debris.
So when Trump says, like, yo, we want to make this presidency transparent, we're going to release the JFK files, the Martin Luther King assassination files, we're going to release everything, we're going to make it as transparent as we possibly can. He's sitting down now at this press conference and kind of telling y'all what his plans are. That is fire. He's got the mayor right there. She can't hide. She right there with him. That is fire that he's doing that.
They want to take the debris. They want to do everything. They'll get rid of everything. They're going to do it by their own hand. And you're going to see some amazing things happen. So we're waiving the federal permits. Either waive them or give them to you so rapidly it's going to be essentially the same thing, but we're going to try and just waive them. And we'll rely on the local, but the local, I hope, is going to do the same exact thing. They're literally ready to start right away tonight. So if you could do almost the same thing or the same thing would be great. For a building permit, you're going to have to, check things out a little bit. A lot of them, every single one of them said they're going to rebuild. I didn't have one person say they're selling or they're leaving or they're disgusted. They love their community, and it's incredible. We even had one from your neck of the woods, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to stand up? It was so nice the way she greeted my wife in a very different language, right? And it was very nice to see. and you're staying and you're going to rebuild and everything else. Yeah, everybody. So it's really good. So I'm signing an executive order to open up the pumps and valves in the north. We want to get that water pouring down here as quickly as possible.
Executive order to open it up, the pumps and the valves to get the water through. Remember Gavin Newsom was making it seem like it was a big issue with doing that, like it couldn't be done. He said it could be done. One thing, Froggy Mexi, shout out to you. One thing this is showing me is that a lot of the holdup is not, it's the Democratic Party, it feels like, to be doing the holdup. I think it's Gavin Newsom is the holdup of everything. That's insane. Like, if you are a California, like if you in the Palisades or whatever, and you lost your home, a lot of those people have like private homes and stuff like that. But maybe some people just worked hard, got that one home, whatever, you know, you lost your home, and you find out like it's the governor is partly responsible for how this got out of control. You know what I'm saying? It's insane. If they could have just opened up the water, they could have like stopped this like well before like it got out of control. That's crazy. And last, what y'all think? Y'all think Trump telling the truth about that? It could be done, or y'all think it can't be done?
Millions of gallons of water flow down into Southern California, and that'll be a big benefit to you. If you don't want it, you're going to tell me, but I can't imagine it. I tell you who does like it is the fire department. When I said that, they were very happy with that. They didn't mind hearing that.
And he just showed a meeting with the fire department. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to Trump.
But we have a lot of water that is available, and I hope you can work that out among yourselves. But I think this will show that we have to have that water. We have to have that water. You're talking about unlimited water coming up from the Pacific Northwest, even coming up from parts of Canada, and it pours down naturally. It has for a million years. For a million years, it pours down. You'll never run out. You'll never have shortages, and you won't have things like this. And when you do, you'll have a lot of water to put it out. So I'm going to ask that you figure that out. But
yo, Christian Manwin, I knew he was going to come here and troll it, bro. He was like, Newsom has a wrench for the Hoover Dam too. Yo, he funny, bro.
I really strongly recommended this 7 years ago, and I think I'm going to just do it. If you have big problems, you're going to let me know, but I just can't even imagine it. But we're also surging federal resources and assistance to the state, and California must adopt the common sense policies to prevent fires, and we all know that. You know, we were talking 7 or 8 years ago, I was talking to...
I want to know the common sense policies he's talking about that California needs to adopt before any of this goes through. Let's listen to what he got to say.
People from Austria, people from Finland, people that live in forests. One of the gentlemen, one of the top great leaders of Austria said, we don't have forest fires, and we have trees that are actually far more flammable than they have in California, but they literally rake their forest. They take down, if a tree comes down, they take it down. They say you have 18 months. After that, it's like a matchstick. And I know environmentally, some environmental groups like the tree.
Houston is a member. He said, how old will Trump be after his term? He's 78 years old now, so he'd be 82 years old at the end of his term.
To just melt into the ground, but when they do melt into the ground, they become an inferno. So I think you're going to have to change your ways in terms of that. You have 30 years of leaves, and those leaves are dry as a bone, and they burn. You know, interestingly, because I was at Paradise, who is the general, right? A long time ago, I was at Paradise. What a beautiful paradise it was. And how is it doing, by the way? Are they rebuilding, right? Remember when he said, you were up here, President. I went there. I never saw anything like it. But you know what amazed me? I'll never forget it. The trees were okay, because the trees are loaded with water. They sucked that water out of the ground. And this was an inferno, just like, I would say, no different than this. And it was also the wind that caused a lot of problem. I mean, you had tremendous winds that there's not a lot you're going to do with. You had up to 100-mile-an-hour winds. It's unheard of. But when I was in paradise, I noticed that the trees, they were dark on the bottom, but they were absolutely living, and they lived because they're soaking wet. But the trees that were on the ground, within 12 to 18 months, they say 18 months at a maximum, you have to cut them up, take them away because they're matchsticks. But we saw that. You saw that with me. I commented at the time. I said, look at this. The house is burned down and the tree is standing, and it's, other than being a little different color on the bottom, and it went through an inferno. It's amazing. It's soaking wet. So I think they have to do it. It's called management of the floor. And when the gentleman from Austria and also Finland and other countries, they said we manage the forest floor very, very carefully, and we don't have forest fires. You know, they just don't have them. So I'm sure you're going to do the same thing. So there can be no golden age without the golden state. It's a great state. It's a fantastic place, and we're going to have a big celebration soon.
But this should teach you something too. Like, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks about you in life. If you put yourself and you are in a position of power, people are going to play ball. Look at all the people he's surrounded by that do not like him, but they are around him because they know he is the power structure in the United States right now. He's the president of the United States. He can like decide to help you or decide not to help you right now. And so they're all sitting there quiet as a church mouse, letting them talk because they know what it is. So he doesn't care if you like him or not. I'm going to always put myself into where I'm in a position of power or influence. You know what I mean? And, you know, and integrity kicks in, right? He could be somewhere else doing something else on a different mission. There's so many things wrong with it that the Biden-Harris regime done to America. He could be like at the border right now doing something else, completely ignoring this right now. And people will be like, oh, he's at the border, dope. But he decided, even though those people have been running him down and talking crazy about him, he decided to go to California anyway. Because this is something that needs to be done. And it's, you know what I'm saying, like at a reasonable time. You know, so that's dope, man. Shout out to Trump, bro. He could be petty. Gavin Newsom's been very petty with Trump. He's even sneak dissing and talking about Trump even after the fires, and he like needs Trump right now. And he's still talking reckless, but he's still there. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what you think. Like, this is the American people who we need to be focused on right now. And people need to take that with them in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, if people don't like, this dude had the DOJ, the Department of Justice, weaponized against him. A lot of people from the Democratic Party did not like him. I can't say all of them because a lot of them voted for him. You know what I'm saying? And he just still pushed through, persevered, and became the president of the United States. Even after the attempt on his life, he still like stood up and did what he's supposed to do. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to him, bro. Shout out to Trump.
We're going to come back, and we'll come back as much as you need, and we're going to turn it around, and we're going to open the coffers. You know, America wants us to be taken care of. This was a horrible thing to watch, and the way it just kept going, and then they'd find another area. It was like genius on the other side. The fire, it was a genius, the way it kept moving, but we're not going to stand for it. I just met with the Olympic people, and they're all set to do a real job. So we have the Olympics, and I got them. You know, it was very interesting. I made the deal with the Olympics. I was called by your former mayor, and he said, would you call the Olympics?
Houston said, first term I was blinded, but already in 2025, he's making changes. Why were you blinded? I'm curious.
It's because I must tell you, the Democrats, as you know, were not calling. They wouldn't do it. I don't know, there was a bad experience somehow.
David Johnson is a subscriber. He said they do not like him, but they should respect him. And then Bottle said, I ain't going back.
And I did, and I got along great with the Olympic Committee, and we got the Olympics, and then we got you the World Cup. That one I focused on with Gianni. Gianni was great, the head of it, and so you have that coming. And then we have the 250 years coming up, which is going to be a great celebration. But I'll never forget when I got the Olympics, and then I was president when I got them. And I said, oh boy, it's too bad I won't be president. Who knew this was going to happen, right? I said, I won't be president because it would have been the 4 years. And in fact, I'd be retired by 4 days right now, I guess, right? So anyway, so I got him, and at least I'll be able to celebrate the Olympics, the World Cup, and the 250 years is going to be a very big deal. So we have the 3 biggest there are, and it was an honor to get. If you have any questions, please let me know. And if you have a statement to make, I'd love to have politically, if you'd like to make a statement. Brad, go ahead.
Mr. President.
Okay.
Mr. President, thank you
Sure,
for coming
thank you, Brad.
to the 32nd Congressional District and
Thank you.
making feel. Most people don't have adequate insurance because they couldn't get it. So one company dropped 1,600 policies just in the last 6 months. We've got 16 times as much property damage here as from Hawaii. And I'm hoping
16 times as much property damage as in Hawaii. That is insane. I didn't know it was that bad. And Houston said, getting wrong info, but been doing more of my own research now. Like, good job. Definitely good job. Mike Ferrandis said, Paperboy, what up? Been missing the show because I've been working hard. Gotta get that money, man.
At least 16 times the federal appropriation.
Mike Ferrandis, like last year I did the whole, like, I'm blogging on this and that and all that, you know what I'm saying? Getting the money up thing. Like, I'm still gonna, be on the grind, right? But time is very important. Make sure y'all take time out to do things that y'all love. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all doing that.
For the CDBG program that helps people rebuild. And I know you've talked about policies of California that you're not a fan of, but I've been in Congress for 28 years. I really disagree with Louisiana on their abortion policy. I disagree with them on their campaign finance policy. I disagree with North Dakota on their gun policy. And I would never turn to somebody from Louisiana and say, you keep living on your cousin's couch, because we're not going to help you rebuild until Louisiana agrees with me on a woman's right to choose. So I'm hoping that we can get these funds and that we don't punish individuals for the policies of their state. You can disagree with them, and I think you've got some ideas.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, bro, but California needs to change a lot. I'm going to be real with y'all, right? And this is just on the outside looking at. If I'm president, I'm going to be like, yo, Gavin Newsom, if you do not get rid of that no voter ID law, you're not getting any funds. That's what I would do. If I'm president, you know what I'm saying? If I see y'all just sitting there selling out America, right? That's what I'm doing. I don't care what y'all think. I'm going to help you. But now you got to show the people that are in your state what you really about. Are you going to help them? Or are you going to, like, continue to sell the state out and let anybody just come in there and vote? Like, what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? So certain things, I think Trump know what he's doing. He's trying to play games. Like, because he knows that Gavin Newsom's politics is completely against common sense. Right? So he don't want him to put any list of demands on Gavin Newsom and want him to change anything. Like, so he's trying to, like, throw that in there. I'm not going to say this and this is because I don't want to punish the people because, like, no, get rid of voter ID or you're not getting no money. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's our country. You playing ball or whatever. I ain't got, look, if you want to keep them people in your state, this is your state, right? But you're not about to have a no voter ID law and get some federal funding. And I'm already loosening restrictions on permits. Like, no, we're not doing that.
I look forward to us listening. Also on tariffs, I often agree with you on tariffs. But how about no tariffs on building materials for the next 3 years?
Yeah, we'll take a look at that, actually.
Mr. President.
Mayor, please.
Yes. First of all, let me just take the opportunity to...
Hold on, now that was actually a good point dude made. Like, I didn't even think about that. Like, no tariffs on building materials within the next 3 years. That's actually fire that he said that, bro. Me being fair. That's fire.
Officially welcome you to Los Angeles. Really appreciate you coming, and especially you come just a few days after your...
Hold on, we not doing that. Mike Ferrandis said we boycotting Target. No, we not. Shout out to Rev Andriana, Psychic Medium, said from California, and I agree. At minimum, voter ID, 3-time Trump voter here, and so are my neighbors. Yeah, so a lot of people feel like California actually was red. And that's why Trump said, like, in his speech, right, he said that he's going to get people together and try to see what was actually going on in California, because he believes that he won California. Now, it could just be his ego talking to him, or maybe like he got advisors like, yo, we might have won, you know? So I think people are turning red. They're sick of the politics of the left. And you can see a lot of people's, you know, ratings from the left is hurting now. Some people are claiming are red pilled, and people are turning a new leaf. So I'm curious to know whether or not California is one of them. They're being taxed like crazy. You know, they're making them like conserve water, and the electrical grid's not right. It's like, what are y'all doing right at this point? You know, like something's wrong. If you like defunding the fire department and taking money away from people to clean, brush up and all, like, no, like y'all are doing something wrong here. You know, and all of that tax money that they get in California, it's not like they not getting tax money. Where is it going? You know, but, you know, I'm on the outside looking in. Somebody said, but yeah, Mike Feretta, no, we not. Hey, DEI, I'm not a fan of DEI. Like, I think that's going to be misrepresented as time goes on, right? A lot of news, like CNN, you're going to get like people like that kind of trying to say, oh, he's getting rid of rights and all. Like, that's not what he's doing. You know what I mean? But I think that's mischaracterized. As far as Target, I would rather them, instead of spending time and resources and money into DEI about people's personal lives and stuff like that, I want them to train people to be better customer service people. I think Target has better customer service than Walmart. You know what I'm saying? That's why I would rather go to Target than Walmart. But I would rather, like, a company focus its training on helping customers, not running away from customers when they come in, not staying on your phone like when you're trying. You know, I want them to work. Like, so with DEI, I'm not mad at that. Like what Target is doing, I'm not. And then Adriana said, here in California, we are all red. When you get 40 miles east of the beach, they cheat. Yeah, I've been hearing.
Inauguration. So I want you to know that your presence here is very much appreciated. Let me also say that I know you had an opportunity to see the devastation.
And then Mike Ferranda said Target said they're dropping black-owned products. I haven't heard them say that, but I mean, let's be real. Like, some of these products that are black-owned are super expensive and overpriced. So they may have to, like, you know, have some of those products in there because of whatever. Like, if that's the case, like, I don't be buying them products, they overpriced. Get mad. Like, people can get mad. I don't care. Like, be overpriced. Like, no, we need reasonable, common sense stuff in there.
You've seen the extreme loss, the grief that people are going through here. And we are 100% committed to getting this neighborhood rebuilt again. You mentioned a couple of things in terms of us expediting. So I signed executive directives right away so that we could cut the red tape. We could get people back building as fast as possible. And we're going to continue doing that.
Also, they're ending programs to boost black suppliers. Okay, now Target is doing a little bit too much. If they're doing that, you know what I'm saying? But like, well, I think that's a little bit like, so it says Target drops DEI goals and ends program to boost black suppliers. Once a stalwart supporter of black and LGBTQ rights, retailer joins corporate America's retreat from DEI initiatives. And then it says Target, one of the most full throttle corporate supporters of black and LGBTQ rights, changed its tune Friday. Its stores once featured prominent displays of themed merchandise from Pride Month and Black History Month. And after the May 2020 unaliving of George Floyd, in a few miles from the company Minnesota headquarters, the retailer committed to increase the representation of black employees across the company and spend more than $2 billion with black-owned businesses by 2025. The retail giant said Friday it was ending whose workforce and supply diversity programs after paring back its black and LGBTQ themed merchandise in 2023. I mean, I'm not trying to be going to Target seeing that stuff everywhere, so. You know what I'm saying? Like rainbow products and stuff like that. So I mean, they could have that. I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't really care about that. You know, as far as like, you know how like some businesses get down, and you know, some of our businesses, if they see money coming in and people have to work well, like we gonna overcharge people. That's what we be doing, bro. We do it. And so they accept it probably. And now they just like, we're not accepting that no more. You know what I mean? Like we don't have to deal with it.
One thing is they
Yes.
are saying they will not be allowed to start for 18 months.
No, that will not be the case.
Okay, I just hope
That will
you're
not,
right.
you can hold me to it.
Because 4 groups said that. and
No.
That would be it. They should
No,
be able
that-
to do it. They should be able to start tonight.
That will not be the case. You know, first we have to take care of, to make sure that there's not getting rid of the hazardous waste, cleaning things up so that people can start right away. And just like you said, if somebody,
Yeah, but it's all like burned down. She's trying to make reasons to why this shit go slow. Like if it's like, I mean, yeah, I mean, you might have like some hazardous waste and stuff like that, but most of that is burned down. Like, what is the problem? Get it cleaned up. Like, what's all, like, why are you stalling? Like, get this done. Let's see what he got to say to her.
their house was destroyed and they're going to rebuild essentially the same, maybe a little bit longer, a little bit higher, they really shouldn't have to go through much of a process. So I want you to know that we are expediting that. We absolutely need your help. We need the federal help. You're a
You got
builder.
it, I told you. You will have no permit problem. There will be 0 delay. And as far as I'm concerned, you already have the permits.
And the resource.
I am more worried, because I met at least 8 groups of homeowners, and I'm much more worried about the fact that they said it's 18 months exactly.
Elijah said, God bless you all in the spirit of Jesus Christ, God Almighty. Shout out to you, bro. Froggy Mexi says she's full of it.
And they were devastated. They want to start now. They want to start removing things. They're not allowed to do it now. And you mentioned hazardous waste. Well, the hazardous waste, what's hazardous waste? I mean, you're going to have to define that. We're going to go through a whole series of questions on determining what's hazardous.
Nope.
I just think you have to allow the people to go on their site and start the process tonight.
And we will.
Okay, good.
You can come back and check.
very
Mr. President,
Yes.
I'm Congressmember Judy Chu, and I represent the areas of Altadena and Pasadena.
Yes.
That's the Eaton fire, and there is a world of hurt there. I know that you've gone to the Palisades and you've seen.
Let me say this real quick. And I know the California disaster is serious, right? I live in Nashville, Tennessee. I don't know if y'all remember, like, they made a little bit of a big deal out of it, but not, like, we had a massive flood, right? And so when I talk about, I'm talking about people's cars were like floating down the street bad, like all throughout like Nashville, Tennessee, bro. Everybody banded together. The state got everything, bro. Everybody banded together and fixed this place. Like, I don't even know if like the president even got, I don't think the president really even got involved in it. We just like everybody banded together, helped rebuild everybody's houses and stuff like that. Like that. That's when I learned, like, yo, because I'm not from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm from like Cleveland, Ohio. So that's when I seen like, yo, if something went down, the South can really survive. Right? Because they just like, they was getting in the canoes, like rescuing people and doing things on their own. But like, they are like super reliant on the federal government for everything. You know what I'm saying? Even North Carolina, like people from Tennessee going down there to like help people rebuild. And you remember they were getting stopped by FEMA? You know what I'm saying? Not FEMA, but like, yeah, I think it was like FEMA was stopping. And that was like all through the news. And then Elon Musk was trying to send Starlink down there and he was getting stopped. And you see what I'm saying? Like all that was going on. But it was like Tennesseans, like Southern people, like going and like trying to help them. And they were getting turned around. People were like trying to fly there and like bring supplies and they was getting turned around. Like the South, bro, like they be trying to help each other. Like the California, it's kind of like, bro, if something go down, I don't know like their resilience, but I know this is like a big issue. You know, like when you got that much of fires and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like that's huge. You know, so they're going to need some support, but it's like, man, they all just sitting here like begging this dude. Like, what are y'all doing with y'all money? Why don't y'all like loosen regulations and stuff like that? Be like, all right, we all gonna get together and we're pausing permits for X amount of days and figure out a way. Like, we got to get, I mean, I know this is our government and people pay money in the taxes. Government should help with certain things. But it's like, man, like, where is the resilience? I want to see a story like California community getting together. They rebuilding, they figuring out how to get rid of the brush. They doing this, they doing, like, I want to see that. And the federal government is coming in and helping, not just solely relying on the federal government. Because what's going to happen is Donald Trump's going to give these people, right? He's loosening up permit restrictions. Basically, there's no restrictions on permits. He's just said that, right? He goes ahead and he may end up, if they abide by his terms, his ultimatums or whatever, if he gives them the federal money, they're going to hire contractors. And their contractors are going to be their friends. Some of these contractors may take months, years to try to do the job. You see what I'm saying? To try to spread it out. So it's, you know, this could be a problem, like a serious problem. You know, so I want to see how, like, what they're going to do about this.
The devastation,
Right.
but it's apocalyptic in Altadena, and thank goodness I have a partner with Supervisor Catherine Barger in working to help people get back to normal and to rebuild. But right now they have nothing, and there have been 9,500 structures burned. Most of the deaths have occurred in our area at the Eaton fire, and thousands of people are without homes. And these are working people. These are working class people. They are people like Dr. Jackie Jacobs, who was an educator all her life.
Why doesn't California have anything in place to help people? Let me turn this heat on. Like, why is there nothing in place to help people? Like, why are people flooding to California? Like, why? It's crazy. And then Blue X says, so true that people need to stop relying so heavily on the federal government. We, the people, need to help out our people. What are we seriously gonna just wait around for our babysitter to help us? Exactly. And then now, like, everybody be talking crazy about Trump. Now they sitting there begging him. So they can get the money and give it to their friends, their contractors. This is interesting. Brody Griffin, he said, I'm from Australia, and after one of our most severe fires back Saturday, local football fields became free marketplaces. People from other states and areas not affected donated food and beverages.
Life, and then finally became the first Black administrator of her educational institution, Pasadena City College, and then retired, now 88 years old, and then her home of 30 years burned in Altadena.
Yeah.
She has nothing. She left with only the clothes on her back. She has nothing. And so they need this help. And I just want to make sure that you remember the people in Altadena and Pasadena, and that you can come there and see how terrible the devastation has been there so that they can get the help that they need.
Just remember one thing, and I like the way you express yourself.
Mike Ferrandis said, California, you said, doesn't California have its own sovereignty out of American law?
Beautifully,
I don't know
actually.
nothing about that.
But I've only been here 3 days, and I'll do a great job. But we had another president, and this took place during the life of another president, not me. But I'm going to be the president that's going to help you fix it, because he would not have been able to help you fix it.
And this dude Rod being like in every live but want to say something crazy. Get out of here, bro. Don't come back to my live.
Okay? So we'll take care of it. We'll take care of it. And we'll work closely. Yeah. We'll work closely, and I know your community was really devastated, incredibly, so we understand that. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, I'm just going to follow up Supervisor
Yes, please, go ahead.
Berger, and I also represent Altadena, and what I tell people is, people of Altadena,
Exactly. Rev Adrian Psychic Medium said they give their friends the contracts who then provide them with kickbacks by hiring them as consultants and advisors. Also, thousands of dollars as untraceable Visa gift cards. I don't think she lying. I do not think she lying. Like, they gonna get that money and they friends or people, the contractors that they know, I should say. are probably going to get them contracts. You know what I mean? Like, it's like once you control the money, I think Rev said it perfectly.
Are the exact people you talked to when you were running. You've got individuals from every walk of life, and it is actually at one time was the only place African Americans could purchase homes. It was redlined. And so you've got a lot of generational wealth there. And one of the commitments I've made, and we've had meetings with some of you people in HUD that you've got there now, to work with them, work with your administration to see how we can help. And I've been pleasantly surprised. I know on HUD we've got
what's up, Jamie Leah 87?
Some asks that we are going to be working with you on. But more importantly, I just really want to emphasize what Congresswoman Chu said, and that is that these are individuals who are feeling forgotten. And what I tell them is, and when we invited you out here, when I went to the AME church, this president was talking to you when he was running. You understand the difficulty in making ends meet. You understand the high cost of living. And now their biggest fear is that that's going to impact their ability to rebuild. And I have made them this commitment because this is my last term, that for the next 4 years, you talk about 18 months, I've told our county staff that if you're going to get in the way, then get another job. Because we are an all hands on deck. And quite frankly, if the bureaucracy can't get out of the way, we'll just roll over it. And we've said that, and we've made it clear. The governor's waived CEQA, which I feel should be completely reformed, if not eliminated. And if it's being eliminated for this,
How are they doing with CEQA?
how are they doing?
How is it? What's been the attitude of the people running that whole situation?
It adds sometimes years on to an application.
Can't do it. Can't.
No, and the governor's
And
waived-
Coastal Commission also.
He waived that.
We're going to have to override the Coastal Commission.
So another thing I do want to say is breaking news. Donald Trump announces the U.S. is imposing sanctions on Colombia, including tariffs and visa restrictions and retaliation for their president's refusal to accept deportation flights. These measures are just the beginning. Shout out to Trump, bro. He ain't playing. It says Donald Trump, he posted this. He said, I was just informed that two repatriation flights from the United States with a large number of illegal criminals were not allowed to land in Colombia. This order was given by Colombia's socialist president, Gustavo Petro, who is already very unpopular amongst his people. Petro's denial of these flights has jeopardized the national security and public safety of the United States, and I have directed my administration to immediately take the following urgent and decisive retaliatory measures. Emergency 25% tariff on all goods coming into the United States. In 1 week, the 25% tariff will be raised to 50%. Travel ban and immediate visa revocations on the Colombian government officials and all allies and supporters. Visa sanctions on all party members, family members, and supporters of the Colombian government. Enforce customs and border protection inspections of all Colombian nationals and cargo on national security grounds. IEEPA, Treasury, banking, and financial sanctions to be fully imposed. These measures are just the beginning. We will not allow the Colombian government to violate its legal obligation with regard to the acceptance and return of the criminals they forced into the United States. Live! Talk to them, Trump! Go on Trump's page. He talking reckless.
Because
Right.
I've dealt with the Coastal Commission for a long time, and they are considered the most difficult in the entire country. And we cannot have them play their games and wait 10 years to give somebody a permit. In fact, I'm going to override the Coastal Commission. I'm not going to let them get away with their antics. Okay? Thank you. Thank you, David.
Mr. President, I just wanted I just want to thank you for your leadership on California water policy. You made it a priority from day one. For those of us in the Central Valley in Northern California, we have catastrophic wildfires as well. California is a wildfire-prone area, so ensuring reliable, stable water supplies is critical. And so your leadership, your executive order, moving more water, maximizing flows throughout the state of California, building more water storage, more conveyance, coordinating.
I see you hitting the confetti, the hearts, emojis. Shout out to you.
It would have a great impact on, I know your area very well. It would have an unbelievable impact on your area.
Absolutely. We just want to thank you for making it a priority.
You know, even beyond the fire stuff, the farms. I was driving up with congressmen a few years ago because they were complaining they had no water. And I was driving up and you'll see all of this incredible land, but it's absolutely bone dry. And then you'll see little green patches. And the green patches are so beautiful. You know, they have that land, they say it's as good as Iowa farmland, but it has no water. And it's artificial, has no water. They send the water out into the Pacific Ocean. And when we let that water come through your valleys.
Bro, I like how he did that, bro. Biden would have just like folded. Be like, all right, come back, guy. Trump like, nah, we getting, it was 25% tariffs and 50% tariff. Your family can't travel here. We revoking visas. We not playing with y'all thug life. Y'all want to play these games? You out of here. I like that. Y'all sending these criminals over here. Now we not playing with y'all, bruh. Like, no, it's not going down. We getting them out of our country. You know this is a national security risk, them being here. No, they got to go. And if you want to like try to stifle that or stop that, Gustavo, whatever your name is, get some sanctions. Here you go. Take that, take that, take that.
Down to Los Angeles and everything, you're going to have a different place. It's going to be a whole different place. And you guys have to get together and say,
hit the like, subscribe to the channel. Wait a minute. Stop playing with me.
We want it. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. So at least you said that, and I appreciate it. Because your farmers will be able to, instead of having 1 acre out of 100, which is all they have, they'll be able to have 100 acres out of 100, and it's among the best. They say it's the best farmland just about in the country, as good as any place there is. So, but you can't. It's no good without water. So that's beyond the fire stuff. But today we're talking about fire, but it's good for everything. So I hope you can lead a group, and Daryl, if you can lead a group, I know how you feel, and you know, support what I'm doing, because what I'm doing, I guess, is controversial. I don't know what's controversial about sending millions and millions of gallons of beautiful fresh water from the Pacific Northwest and further up than even that into an area that's bone dry. We have to, you know, I have a house in Beverly Hills, and you get notices every once in a while. They want you to go down to 38 gallons per person or something, per house, per person. I say, you mean you can only have, 38 gallons sounds like a lot. It's not a lot. And they want to do that every once in a while, and you just think it's ridiculous when you have like just about as much water as anybody in the country, and we shouldn't be in a position where you have tumbleweed that's dry as a bone. That even tumbleweed can be nice and green and rich and loaded up with water, and it's not going to burn. You don't even have to remove it. It's not going to burn, but it's just dry. So I hope you can all get together and say, I'm so happy with the water that's going to be flowing down, because I just don't see anything. They talk about the Delta smelt, which is a fish that's this big, but it is really not, doesn't have to be protected.
They talk about he's got cognitive issues, bro. I can't remember all that stuff he's saying. What is he, like 79 years old, 78 years old or something like that? Bro, his memory, remembering types of fish, what the fish do, where they come from, all of this, like, bro.
Because it's in other areas. It's in numerous other areas. So it doesn't have to be protected. The people of California have to be protected.
Mr. President, could I just speak for a moment?
Kevin Connolly, California.
Yes.
First of all, you're absolutely right about the Coastal Commission. I've introduced legislation to rein them in. We've been talking with Rick
Hey,
about
yo, they going off on Gustavo right now on Twitter, bro.
this.
They're out of control.
Absolutely out of control. It's insane the things they've been getting away
I
with.
think they thrive on it, actually. To know the truth. It's so ridiculous.
That's right. They even tried to stop SpaceX from launching rockets. It's
It's
just.
true.
But you mentioned your predecessor and how he didn't fix the situation, which is absolutely right. Not only that, during the Calder fire, which was a few years ago, which was in my district, 600 people lost their homes in a town called Grizzly Flat. He came and he promised that he would help them out, but he broke that promise many times. He never delivered them the individual.
Hold on, y'all, real quick. Yo, President Trump just went off on Gustavo and the Colombia. Bro, he tried to send some like illegals back to Colombia and Gustavo like refused him. And so he ended up like putting out this post, bro. He is going off. He said emergency 25% tariffs on all goods coming into the United States is what he about to get him with. He said in 1 week, the 25% tariff will be raised to 50%, a travel ban and immediate visa revocation on the Colombian government officials and all allies and supporters, visa sanctions on all party members, family members, and supporters of the Colombian government, enhanced customs and border protection inspections of all Colombian nationals and cargo on national security grounds, i.e. EPA, Treasury, banking, and financial sanctions to be fully imposed. These measures are just the beginning. We will not allow the Colombian government to violate its legal obligations with regards to the acceptance and return of the criminals they forced into the United States. He is wilding right now.
Assistance they were asking for. So this has underscored for me the importance of helping the victims, making sure in this situation, every fire, we get money to the victims and we make sure that nothing stands in the way of that. But I just want to thank you for your focus on bringing sanity to California, water and fire policy. There's no place that needs a revolution in common sense quite like California.
You have so much water. Use it and be happy about it.
Mr. President,
Be happy.
Mr. President, my name is Joel Pollack, and I am a journalist with Breitbart News, but I happen to live in the Pacific Palisades, as do other colleagues. One colleague, John Kahn, wrote the song Fighter, which you played at your campaign rallies. He lost his house and the studio he wrote that song in. We were lucky because I was able to fight the fire on my fence. But when I got to my house, there was no water in the pipes. So I got inside and I picked up the flower vases because I give my wife flowers every week, and there was water there, and we started with that. Then I found my son's bucket of baseballs, and I dumped the baseballs on the ground, and I used the bucket. But there was still no water, except for the water in the gutter coming from the burnt homes uphill. So I went to and fro to my gutter and my fence with my bucket. 2 guys showed up in a truck, 2 neighbors. We found 2 more buckets, bucket after bucket after bucket. Many of my neighbors, including some here, tried to fight the fires. They couldn't. We were lucky our house was saved.
Colombia, y'all not like, bro. Colombia, y'all need to stop playing, bro. Like, our president ain't playing with y'all like that. Hey, y'all, Gustavo, you messing up, bro. You messing up, bro.
But we should not have to rely on buckets to put out a fire.
That's right.
You can't stop an 80-mile-per-hour wind or 100-mile-per-hour wind, but there were many things that went wrong here that are basic and small. We did not have traffic police to guide the evacuation, so there was gridlock on Sunset. They've removed the vehicles now, but there were dozens of vehicles that were abandoned by drivers who fled for their lives because there were no traffic cops available. The fire department wasn't pre-deployed, even though there was an extreme wind event coming. And many of my neighbors lost their fire insurance in the days before the blaze. So I asked my neighbors what would they want to know if I could ask the president a question, and the number one thing was insurance. Can you work with the insurance companies to get people back to where they were before they lost the coverage because of California's regulations? And can you make California change its rules so that when we build again, we can get fire insurance and we don't have to worry? And there's one other point I want to make. I really appreciate my congressman advocating for money. We need the money from the federal government. But I also understand Americans who are tired of spending money on California and disasters happen.
Yes, bro. He talking. Americans are tired of spending money on California when these disasters happen. Won't y'all like do something, implement things to where we don't have to do that? Maybe y'all can do some preventative measures.
And the California government passes $50 million to oppose your policy. So they have $50 million for that, but not for moving people into rental homes or helping people relocate or rebuild.
Ooh, he's saying this right in front of everybody. It's like, yo, they got 50 million to spend on going against your policies, but not 50 million to spend and to relocating these residents. Oh. Yo.
I would like to ask you to follow the 9/11 Commission precedent and appoint a special master to watch the money, to make sure that every federal dollar that gets spent here is spent on fire relief and rebuilding and not on everything else.
Good idea. Here's a good one right over here. I don't know if do we all like
He's
Rick?
very busy.
He's ambassador to Germany. He was fantastic. Angela Merkel's happiest day ever in her history, and she had a long history, was the day I removed him from there and put him in charge of a very high level of intelligence and intelligent people, but they were not intelligent enough to fool him. But Rick Grinnell has been fantastic, and he lives here, and I don't know if you want to either think about it or recommend some people, or get together and recommend some people as a group, which is fine. But Rick would be somebody that I would certainly consider. And Breitbart is fantastic, by the way. Congratulations on that. And I was so impressed with the firefighters I met.
Another thing, like Trump has to make an example out of Gustavo. All right, you want to stop us from getting these illegal people out of our country? All right, we're going to hit you with sanctions just to show people how quick we'll move on you.
Before, and they said that, I asked them how many of the pumps, how many of the hydrants were working, and it was a, large percentage of them were not working at all. They had no water, and the ones that did have water didn't have a lot of pressure. And one of the things that was missing, many of you have sprinklers over your living room and your bathroom and your kitchen. I mean, if those sprinklers worked with some pressure, you would have had a much
I kind of wish we had Rush Limbaugh. He would be going crazy right now.
different outcome. So we're going to work on that. I think in terms of that, Rick Grinnell would be good, or Rick, you'll head up a group of people that would recommend a few people to me, maybe a commission, set up a commission. I like it because we're talking about a lot of money. The other one is Kelly Loeffler is now the head of small business, and small business is big business. It's actually one of the biggest banks in the world. We call it the Small Business Administration, and she's a cabinet member, full cabinet member. She's fantastic. Her husband is the head of the New York Stock Exchange, so they know something about money, and other exchanges actually. They're fantastic people, and she wants to come here almost immediately after she gets approved. She wants to come here and open up small business to the area, because they have a lot of money. I always say the small business is actually a very big business when you add it all up, and she's going to come here, and it's a very important thing. I want to thank also the First Lady, because she wanted to come here, she wanted to be here, she has so many friends, and she also wanted to see North Carolina, because that was another disaster that was so bad, so different, but so bad, and she just wanted to go there. We said we're going to stop at one, and then we're going to the other. In many respects, it was a depressing day, but in many respects, it was a beautiful day, because the spirit is so incredible. North Carolina.
Rush Limbaugh will be going in on Colombia right now.
And here, very, very similar situation. Different, so different, and yet so similar, actually. And so I just thought it was very nice. You wanted to be here, and we appreciate that.
Jay?
Is that local? You got to. I don't want to be the only one to give you permits like in one day, and then I find out that the cities, the towns, and the state is not going to give you permits. The problem with permits, it only takes one. Yeah. You might need 7 different permits. You shouldn't have any at this point. You should just let them build. And you're only as good as the weakest one. So if you have one that's going to hold you up, but the others are going to give it to you in 24 hours, it's not going to help you very much. So they have to work on that.
Mm-hmm.
It's what everybody said.
Well, and let me just tell you that we are going to do everything we can, slashing regulations, expediting everything so that people can begin the process right away. We have the Disaster Recovery Center on Pico in Westwood. We have building and safety there. People are already contacting the local agencies. We're bringing our city departments together so that people don't get caught in the loop of going from one room to the next. We want them all to be in the same room so that you can get busy rebuilding ASAP. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And we will clear the lots. Absolutely. In the city and in the county. We are working together. Both levels of government are working in unity. Yes.
6 months is no
Exactly.
good.
And the number one thing that we are going to do immediately, and you will see this happen, is to clear out the debris. And you know, we're concerned right now over the weekend because of the potential rain, but we are going to move as fast as we can, but we want you to be safe, and we want you to be back in your homes immediately.
But the people are willing to clean out their own debris. It doesn't
Yes,
cost
and
a
they
lot.
can,
You
and
should
they are
let them
able
do
to-
it because
No, no,
by the
they
time you
can do
hire
that.
contractors, it's
Right.
going to be 2 years.
If a family...
People are willing to get a dumpster and do it themselves and clean it out.
And they can
There's
do
not
that.
that much left. It's all incinerated.
That's right.
And, you know, it's just going to take a long time if you do. You can do some of it, but a lot of these people, I know that guy right there that's talking. I know my people. You'll be in that thing tonight, throwing the stuff away, and your site it'll look perfect within 24 hours, and that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to wait around for 7 months till the city hires some demolition contract,
If
and that's going to
individuals
charge him
want to build-
$25,000 to do his lot.
Yeah.
I think you have
I
emergency.
love that. Because he basically saying what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, your friends or whatever, the contractors are going to sit around and charge $25,000 to get rid of a little bit of that, and the money adds up quick. He's like, yo, people can just, like, do this fast. Like, we not trying to, like, be waiting around. Like, what y'all doing? He's saying this in a nice way. I like that he's doing that. He's bringing attention to that.
Emergency powers just like I do, and I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
I did exercise them.
Because I looked,
signed
I
an
mean, you have a
emergency
very powerful
declaration.
emergency power, and
Yes.
you can do everything within 24 hours.
Yes. And if individuals want to clear out their property, they can.
I don't think she's going to be expedient on this. I don't think she is.
Well, yes, but you know that you will be able to go back soon.
Yeah, exactly. YTS is I think he's subscribed to the channel. He said at this point, she trying to sell dreams. That's what I'm getting from her. He's like, look, we could do this. You got one of the biggest emergency powers right now. We could do this. We can get it done. We can get it done. And she's like, well, the people can do this. They can clear out their own stuff. And this and now we can wait around. We can do this. We can get some contractors. Her friends. Yo, bruh. What is now? I see what, like, bro, how are these California people, like, how are y'all electing these people? She don't want to do anything. She's sitting there smiling for a photo op. They're going to use this as a political ploy. I feel like, I'm not saying this is true. I feel like to try to stonewall this. And he's up there trying to give them aid and help. And she's going to make this take forever. This DEI lady. What do y'all think in the comment section? Tell me what y'all think.
Mr. President.
We think within a week.
That's a long time, a week.
A week? She, like, we think in a week? Like, what do you got the president now telling you now we're not going to stop. We're not going to put, you know what I mean? Like, you can just do whatever you want without federal permits now. We can do it in a week. Like, lady, are you crazy?
Be honest, to me, everyone's standing in front of their house. They want to go to work and they're not allowed to do it.
And the most
a
important
week
thing
is
is
a
for
long
people to
time.
be safe.
They're safe. They're safe. You know what? They're not safe. They're not safe now.
A week? We want to make sure people are set. What are you talking about, lady? People want their houses rebuilt. You're going to go back to a nice, lush house. You're a mayor. These DEI hires are not qualified. She does not know what she is doing or how to fix the problem. Rodney Shima just commented. Jamie Leah 87. Yeah, she said all of that. She's not trying to like get these California residents help. She's not. She's trying to wait weeks and weeks, and he's been like leading up to like, yo, we got to do this now. We got to do this now. And every time she talks, she's talking about a later date. This is the Democratic logic. Let's wait a week. Let's get our contractor friends in there to do it. Spend this federal money. Like, no, let's just do it now. Do your job, ma'am.
They're going to be much safer. A week is actually a long time, the way I look at it. I watched hundreds of people standing in front of their lots, and they're not allowed to go in. It's all burned. It's gone. It's done. Nothing's going to happen to it. It's not going to burn anymore. There's nothing to burn. There's almost nothing to burn. And they want to go in. The people are all over the place. They're standing, and I say, why aren't you going in? We're trying to get a permit. And the permit's going to take them, everybody said 18 months. You said 18 months. You said 18 months.
Last night.
And that was last night.
On that. Right.
Mr. President, we're going to be together next week, and during the interim, many of us are involved in, and Tom McClintock, who you know has been an expert on this for years.
That's right.
We are going to be putting conditions on the money that do two things. Require that it be done timely and affordable, and then secondly, that we protect those who will come afterwards. As we speak, there are 6,000 acres burning in my district on the Mexican border. There will be more fires until we include in any disaster relief items which will prevent it or at least mitigate it from happening again. So you're going to see us proposing both of those.
Like water. Little
We're
things
gonna
like
do
water.
that for them.
You know, the party of common sense. See, we're the party of common sense. You're not, in all fairness.
Talk to him. Yeah, we're the party of common sense. You're not. Like that. They need to hear that.
There it is.
Yes, sir.
We like water to put out fires. It's really quite efficient. All right.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, I'm Jay Obernolte. My district is just a bit east of here.
Yep.
And you were talking about the need to better manage our forests and our wildlands to prevent this from happening again. And you were so right about that. Just last year, a couple months ago in October, they put out a fire. The line fire in my district was over twice as big as the Palisades fire. And they put it out less than a mile from my house in an area where we had done thinning. And they stopped the fire, Mr. President, on a fire break that we had built a couple of years ago.
That's right.
We have an area just on the other side of my community that hasn't been thinned in decades because it's being held up by a lawsuit from an environmental group that says we're going to reduce habitat. Mr. President, we need to, in addition to getting resources and boots on the ground to do this treatment, we need to reform our legal system to prevent these lawsuits from tying up these projects for years and years and years. And not to say that the merit shouldn't be heard, but we need to hear them and we need to move on, resolve them.
Is this a state group? State or federal group?
Now, this is a local group, actually, Mr. President, but they have help from the state.
They use the environment to make themselves feel good, and they're destroying our country. And you've got to, at some point, you've got to put your foot down. I know exactly what you're talking. You have local and state groups, and you have federal groups too. And you got to fight them the right way, because you will never, even if the mayor gives, you're going to have a local group come in and sue. You're not allowed to go on your property. They're going to talk about asbestos and every other thing. They want to go on their property and they want to clean out their property, and you cannot let anything get in their way. And you'll have this place built up quickly, beautiful. It'll be more beautiful than before. And I would do one other thing. I'd give them a 10%, 15% bonus on their house, because they went through hell, and they should be allowed to build a little bit, give them a little bit lot line bonus, give them a bonus on size, maybe a little bonus on height. They went through hell. You know, some of them had houses where they were restricted. They have to have an 8-foot ceiling. You let them have a 10-foot ceiling. Let them build a nice house, a nicer house than they had before. But I would give them a 10 or a 15% bonus on their plans, and I think it would be very well received, because they'll be able to build a little bit nicer house. Do you like that idea, by the way? They deserve it. Because you know what? It's not their fault that this fire took place. This fire took place, could have been stopped. It's not their fault. It's not the homeowner's fault. And I think they should be entitled to a bonus on their house. Okay.
Mr. President.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Some good news from Paradise. We stood together there 6 years ago, along with the governor.
That was so
Is that 3,400 homes have been rebuilt out of the 18,000 lost, and there's 400 more in the wings. And so FEMA was very helpful. Now my colleague who has Altadena here, probably a very similar situation. Clearing the lots, they're probably going to have to clear about a foot worth of soil underneath those foundations to get the toxicity out. So they'll need a lot of help. Those are working class folks in Altadena.
And we did a good job with you.
And FEMA was extremely helpful.
Yep. That was the old days when FEMA was good. FEMA's no good anymore.
Yeah.
That was when we ran it. FEMA was very good, but now FEMA's not good.
We got to get them on track. But on the water, thanks so much for your strong efforts on that. Right now, Lake Shasta, which is in my district, is dumping more water than what is coming in. So is Folsom Lake. And those are federal projects that should be building up because we're latter January here. And you can't count on the rain and the snow coming every year. And so if we don't fill those projects, then my colleague in San Joaquin Valley isn't going to get his water for his farmers. Well, it might be all right up in the north. They aren't going to get it. And then the water needs to go through Aqueduct for Southern Cal to refill maybe the Santa Ynez Reservoir that was empty during this.
You don't even need reservoirs. With the water coming down, you don't need the reservoir. You have so much water, you don't need it. You only have reservoirs because you're trying to hold water. But you have natural water coming down along the coast. It's for a million years it's been coming. You know that, right?
Yeah.
In addition to that, you have a lot of half pipe. In other words, you have the half pipe that's built. And it hasn't been used. You see, it's bone dry. No water's been in that half pipe for years and years. It was closed up years ago.
Had the reservoir,
it's already there. Yeah.
Had the reservoir above Palisades been full, they wouldn't have run out of water in a few hours. It would have gone for at least a few days with 40 acre feet out of 600,000
That reservoir's been empty for a long time.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been empty. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, please.
Mr. President, my name is Tracy Park. I represent the people of the Pacific Palisades on the LA City Council. I wanted to thank you for your loyal support to our military, our police officers, and especially our firefighters.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
My top priority going forward is to get these men and women home as soon as possible and open up the pathway to begin their rebuilding process. It was the Army Corps of Engineers who announced last night that it would be 18 months. I am fully committed to doing my part on the ground with our state agencies and our city and our county partners to speed this up.
Good.
I just ask for your ongoing partnership with FEMA and the EPA and our other federal agencies to make sure that we have a commitment across all layers of government to get these people back home. Thank you, sir.
I do. Thank you very much. It's well said. I do have to say FEMA is a big disappointment. We had it working well. We had great people, but FEMA's not good anymore. What FEMA did in North Carolina, they still haven't even gone to certain areas. They don't know what they're doing. And I say,
wow, I like how he just took charge of that. They're trying to bolster up FEMA, and he's like, nah, they don't know what they're doing. That's what you talk about, like a leader. Shout out to him.
you don't need FEMA. You need a good state government. And when you have a problem in Los Angeles, or when you have a problem even in the state of California, you have your own, essentially FEMA. You fix it yourself. You don't have somebody coming in from a state where they have no idea, like Florida. They come in from hurricanes. They have people staying in Alaska. And now they see, oh, this is very nice. But by the time they get familiar with it, they don't know anything. The FEMA is a very expensive, in my opinion, mostly failed situation. We had great people. We did some great jobs. But each state should take care of their problem and get money from the federal government. It would be so much better, so much more efficient. So we're looking at that because we have had, and you're going to have problems with FEMA too. You've already had problems with FEMA. FEMA doesn't even show up. It takes weeks before they even show up. And what happens is the state...
He not cutting FEMA no slack, bro. No slack. I like that. Like, nah, but they don't need... Bro, a president talking like this is crazy. This is crazy. You have never seen nothing like this ever, bro. Yo. I like that, bro.
And relies on FEMA, and nobody does anything because FEMA doesn't show up. So it's not a good situation. So we'll make some recommendations and that. But you have to push like hell to get the permits because I'm just hearing things that I don't like to hear. I think you're not going to get your permits as fast as people are saying. We have to get them. And Mayor, if I can help you at all in that regard, you'll let me know. But you're going to have all your federal permits. That's going to be the easy part, which, by the way, is by far the hardest part.
Yeah, I was about to say that's the hardest part, getting federal permits. Now it's going to come down to the state. Does the state want to help the people? Trump's kind of out of this right now. He's like, all right, we're giving you all the support you want. but are you going to help the people? Are you going to get out? Is the state going to get out of the state's way? And now they're about to see democratic bureaucracy at work.
You know who controls your water is the Department of Commerce, and I already have that approval. And that's usually a very long process, but that's the hard part was the federal, but we already have that done. So anything I can do, please let me know. Please, go ahead. You lost all your schools. You lost your 4 schools? Were they completely burned down, the schools? Wow. All of them? All of them? No, you can't. No.
That's right.
Dale FOMA with the 199. Shout out to you.
Well, I'm going to ask Rick to set, I think right from the
Jamie Leah 87 said, give it back to the states.
table. You might put a couple of the fire guys back there on that I just met, okay? Because they're really good, but get a group and figure out how we can do the processing faster.
Mr. President, if I can just defend FEMA a little bit.
Yeah.
If I could just defend FEMA a little bit, bruh.
They brought thousands of people in. I don't know how they're doing in other states. They're doing a good job for us here. They've got a huge center that's open from 9 in the morning till 8 at night. But also, when you have a disaster this size, you need to be able to deploy thousands of people, which they've been able to do. Now, California, if we did it on our own, maybe we'd have thousands of people.
You do.
But if Rhode Island has a Palisades disaster, are they then supposed to keep?
How many people do you have in California? 36? How many million? How many million people do you have?
But
You have 40 million people. You're not going to get a few thousand people. The problem with FEMA is they come from all over the country. They end up in arguments with your people from California because they want to do it a totally different way. And I can live either way, but you haven't gotten very much done with FEMA and all you have to do is look at North Carolina. It's one of the great disasters of all time.
And Mr. President, you can't have Rhode Island maintain a staff of thousands and thousands of people waiting to see if they have a disaster.
You know who came in and fixed North Carolina or the process? Other states, people from all over the country came. And you have the same thing. You have a lot of people from all over the country. Getting the people is not a problem. Getting the organization's a big problem. FEMA's incompetently run, and it costs about 3 times more than it should cost.
I'm hoping
we can
that you
spend
can
money
get
on
it right.
schools instead of giving money to bureaucracy. It takes you so much longer.
Mr. President,
It takes you so much longer.
FEMA for helping our people.
FEMA has a standard, Red, and I'm a builder. I was a very good builder. FEMA has a standard that's so slow. They want permit on permit on permit, and then they want permits on top of that. If you use FEMA, you'll be here for a long time. What I'm saying is get the city, get the state to give you immediate 24-hour permits. These people are going to build their own homes. They're going to get them built fast. How many of the people, could I ask you one question? How many of the people, what are people going to do for financing? What are people going to do? How many people can build a percentage-wise, like where they don't have to go out and get funds? Some people are just not going to be able to rebuild their home because they have a beautiful home, but they don't have cash, right? So what are people looking to do in that case? You're going to have a big percentage, I would assume, Brad, like that. What are they going to do? Go ahead.
Mr. President, without your help, they're only going to get $43,000 from the federal government, even if they have a half
You know,
$1 million.
you did something, Brad, where every insurance company in the country left California. That's why you have no insurance, because you made it so impossible. People that think like you made it so impossible. And you know,
Brad, me?
every
Mr.
insurance
President,
company.
I don't know
I'll tell you this.
about my thinking.
I've never seen a state where almost nobody has insurance. And I said, what happened? And they said like 6 months ago they all left. And 2 years ago they had different, quadrants, but they left. And you have very little insurance here. I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
We had a lot of insurance companies pull out, but I have
And
no
the
idea.
insurance companies actually have been warning you. Now, I'm not a big fan of insurance.
Talk to him. You, bro. Like, I'm the president. I know what's going on. The insurance companies have been warning you. They didn't just pull out for no reason. Bro, you have never seen nothing like this before, baby. Talk.
Insurance companies, okay, they have their big drawbacks too, but the insurance company, I read the papers very well, and they've been warning California for a long time. They've also been saying, we want water, you don't have water, you're supposed to get fire insurance, and the insurance company goes, you don't have any water in your fire hydrants. So it's a tough situation. I'm not a big fan of insurance companies, I get that.
They're pulling out of Florida
Fred,
as
you
well.
lost your insurance company 6 months ago because the state wouldn't give them what they had to have.
Yeah. And Mr. President, I remember the.
Go ahead, please, go ahead.
I'm Ed Ring from the California Policy Center, and in the matter of prevention of fires, the matter of the cost of rebuilding, both of which affect insurance rates, I think one, to support something one of the other participants said, a reform you might consider, and it could be an act of Congress, is that the losers in environmentalist lawsuits pays the legal fees. And I think that would be a big step in the right direction.
The losers of the lawsuit should pay all the fees.
Oh, you mean loser pays? I love that. Well, if you did loser pays, you could cut your courts in you could cut them down about 90%. Loser pays. You know what would also benefit? Medical. If you had loser pays for medical, your medical costs would go down by 50%. That's an interesting thing. I'd bring that up, but the only problem, the strongest lobby in the world, you know what it is? The lawyer lobby. So when you go back to your local congressman, hello, congressman, how about going against the lawyers for a little while? No, loser pays, very good. In Europe, they use it in certain parts of Europe, and they have very little litigation. Right? Yes, please.
Mr. President, I represent the 27th Congressional District, which is on the north side of the North San Fernando Valley through Santa Clarita and Lancaster and Palmdale. I just wanted to tell you a story of heroism. Yesterday, we had another big fire. We had several big fires across, and this fire was moving fast. It was moving 1,000 feet per minute. But what these heroes did, the firefighters and the sheriffs and the law enforcement officials, they mobilized 4,000 people within about 6 hours. They mobilized 20 air attack aircraft and helicopters, and they saved the city of Castaic. And so I just wanted to ask you to join us in recognizing those amazing heroes.
I love that.
Let's see how CNN tries to spin a lot of this. See what they say. The fake news.
The president reiterated what he wants California to do, meet certain conditions before they can get federal aid.
What do y'all think about conditions before getting federal aid? Depends on what the condition is.
I want two things. I want voter ID for the people of California, and they all want it. Right now, you don't have voter ID. People want to have voter identification. You want to have proof of citizenship. Ideally, you have one-day voting. But
why are you in the United States not with no proof of citizenship? We got to have Social Security card, birth certificate, all of this to get jobs, to do this, to do that, to do this. But they don't have to have nothing, and they can just vote. Like, what? The California people don't even know who voting. Like, that's crazy, bro. I don't think he's saying nothing wrong.
The people of California, they all want it. Right now, you don't have voter ID. People want to have voter identification. You want to have proof of citizenship. Ideally, you have one-day voting. But I just want voter ID as a start, and I want the water to be released, and they're going to get a lot of help from the U.S.
CNN's Jeff Salony is on the ground in North Carolina.
What do y'all think about that? I ain't mad at that. Shout out to him. Like, I'm not mad at that. I think they do need voter ID. I think that needs to be a thing. I like that, to bring it back. I like the fact that Trump had a sparring session with the mayor, and he pretty much let you see she's not for helping the people immediately. He came there with an intent for immediate aid, right? She's not for that. Like, she's like stalling. She wants the contractors to be able to do everything. And he's basically saying the contractor is going to charge you $25,000 to just remove some of the, you know what I mean? The rebel or whatever. Some of it, they're going to charge you that. So do you want that to be happening, or do you want like this to move faster for different things? And she's just not interested in it. So this has come down to now we're seeing it's not him. This is actually the Democratic Party stonewalling this. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think down in the comment section below. One thing I do like to do on this channel, we get some news. We want to break it down. We want to watch it. We want to see what the people are talking about in the comment section. Those are subscribed and all of that. And then we kind of run from there. You know, we can hear a lot of different things. Like, these people want to see CNN, they can spin things and create narratives and take attention away from what, like, we didn't even know, like, they would never like really put this out there, that Donald Trump said that, yo, we're going to make federal, you know, we're going to take away the federal permits for a short period of time until y'all can get this figured out. I love that. You know what I'm saying? Now it's up to the states. What are the states going to do? You know what I mean? Like, I like that because, you know, we can just take away the permits, the federal permits, but y'all still got state issues. So I don't know. Shout out to Trump, man. But comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about that. Shout out to Froggy Megsy on here. My Magazine. Shout out to you. Jamie Leah is a member on the channel. Shout out to her. Shout out to Theo FOMA with the donation. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? I saw Medwig in here. Shout out to you. You be trolling. Sugar Black. You know, I couldn't do this without y'all. But shout out to everybody